Screw doing the podcast, dude. I'm back in the zone.
We're back here, just seeing Mikey, seeing stars.
We're back in. Howdy, folks at home. I can't believe you're tuning in for a third week. Trash Talk with Fish and Seko. Week 3, episode 3. We're gonna try something a little different this time. For the people that don't like the NBA that have been trying to watch, I know 50 minutes is a bit of a bore. So we're gonna split up our episodes into maybe 3 or 4 different videos. So if you see something you like or whatever, you can just click on that. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But either way, keep the support coming on Facebook. We appreciate the love.
We're going to be starting up a couple of other social media sites, so we're going to be
True.
We're going to
be on Tinder.
To the ground. We're going to be on Tinder.
We're going to be on Tinder. Trash Talk on Tinder.
Trash Talk is going to be on Tinder.
Gonna be
so
great.
Single ladies in the area, set your radiuses to 80 kilometers.
And yes, the photos with the 2 guys in comes with the 2 guys, because there's 2 guys on Tinder.
This is a package.
It comes together. It's a package deal until the death. We're on. Fish, it's been...
Here we are.
It's been, I know we released episode 2 last night, but we haven't actually recorded in 2 weeks. Mate, a lot has happened in the NBA.
A lot has happened on closer shores.
A lot has happened here. In fact, we actually had some people go missing for a few days.
That would myself be included.
That would be us too. We went missing for about 5 days over Easter. But it was great.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an ordeal those 5 days. We were thinking about doing the 90-second recap of our weekend, so we're gonna do it.
Are we gonna do this?
we're gonna do this, but
let me get the timer up, mate.
Let me just phrase by saying a lot of this is going to be relatively vague, and we're not going to be going into too much depth.
Yeah, so MK, don't worry, we're not going into depth. You can still watch the pod. No one's going to know who you are.
She can eat her potato gems at home.
Oh, you potato.
So we're going to try our very best to encapsulate the 5 days of Easter that we had, starting with the Thursday night and ending with the Monday morning.
90 seconds, kick her off, Fish.
Day 1, hung out with my brother's mates. They are now my mates. They're there. They're brothers to me now after a very enjoyable pub experience. There was smoke going everywhere, and not just out of the cigarettes. It was out of the smoke machines. It was out of the lasers, out of Bo Summers' feet. It was coming from all angles.
So that's 2 weeks in a row.
We went straight into day 2. Kick us off.
Day 2, I came in hot from Adelaide. I was on fire. We found ourselves in a house party in Glebe. And it was a little bit of an awkward vibe, so we were like, let's kick it off. We were dressed in snow gear. It wasn't actually a dress-up party. We didn't know, but we were dressed in snow gear. We found Jeremiah the Bear.
Jeremiah the Bear. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Megan, who was found in the cupboard with Jeremiah the Bear. I'm not sure how fluffy he is down there, but I doubt it. Your face said it all. On to day 3. We're still having these light technicality issues.
It doesn't matter.
We're going to push through. Go. Day 3.
Day 3.
Saturday.
Oh, I had tonsillitis. I woke up with tonsillitis because I got so done the night before. But I kicked on through. We saw our friend Space Monk play. Day 4, hit us up.
Day 4. So we started the day off at my house. We were all kind of kicking off. Sunday, house party at Motorvale Pub. It went all day. We saw the likes of Michael Langford. He was the only name you need to know. And then day 5 sucked. Sucked.
Bad. 90
sucked.
seconds, boom.
Done.
What an ordeal.
Oh, dude, it just brought me back some terrible memories.
It was terrible. Oh, man. I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know how we made it through it,
and
but
I don't know how we still keep having these lighting issues, and I still don't know how we haven't poured a glass of wine, for freak's sake.
No, I think I needed to wait until that 90 seconds was over before I even saw alcohol again. I feel like I'm ready. As usual, we have our scheduled lighting issue inconvenience message.
Bear with us, please.
Yeah.
Right, so we're back. We got the lights sorted. So apologies to everyone.
Apologies.
Fish, I'm going to pour you a glass of wine.
Thank you very much, mate.
And
We're going to give a shout out.
Maybe give a shout out because we almost forgot
We
about
almost
it last
forgot about
week.
it last week. There might have been a subtle one, but we didn't end up getting the graphic up. The Vivino wine app, our sponsor, not sponsor at all, in no way, shape or form.
Still waiting
still
waiting
on
for
it.
you to email me back, Paul, from Vivino. Still waiting.
Paul
But
from the Vivino wine app.
We appreciate you, Paul, and
We appreciate
all
the sponsorship.
all the hard work you're doing behind the scenes for Vivino. We actually had to use it on the weekend because we were down to the last drop.
We're down to the very last drop. So here's to McGuigan's Black Label, which is surprisingly terrible. But
it's great.
It's great. But
It's as great as you want it. We always take a while to intro us, but we've got a freaking good one. We've got a good one in store. We're pumped.
We're ready.
We're pumped about how Ep3 went, but we're gonna just aim to take it up a notch each week. So
Each and every single week, we're going to try and bring it harder, quicker, faster.
smarter. No,
No,
not the last
definitely
one.
not. Definitely not the last one.
Not the latter.
But we're going to try and give it to you. So what we're going to be doing this week, we're going to be starting it off with our kind of a little bit of a summary of where we are personally with how we think that the league has been going for the past season. Obviously, we didn't start up this podcast until well over 3/4 of the season
Past the trade deadline.
past the trade deadline. So we kind of want to give the viewers a little bit of a recap on how we think the climate of the end of season is going to turn out. We're going to give you a bit of a precursor. So Seko and I have established our first and second NBA teams, and those for you who don't know, it's essentially the 5 positions: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center.
Times two.
Like,
You've got your best team, your second team.
and we go on to
You do have a
team, but
third generally, but we're going to do our third next week.
we're going to go for it. So yeah, we're going to start it off at the point guard position, which I think is always going to be unanimous for the first team. For the first team, it's always going to be unanimous.
Bit of a no-brainer.
The MVP candidate in Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors.
We were both in agreement on this one, and I think for good reason. He's been the standout point guard this season by far. What he's doing on the Warriors is pretty ridiculous night to night, and mate, he's so fun to watch. He's exciting. He's been exciting for the past 2 seasons, but this year he's taken that excitement level and like the results have come with.
They've become the most exciting team, the most exciting
100%.
arena, with the most exciting story. I feel for that kind of team especially in the West, outside of the Hawks in the East. Mm-hmm. It's just been an all-round exciting year for Steph Curry, and I think he is definitely the staple.
I don't even think we need to talk about this much because it's just such a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, and so is for the second position in the shooting guard. I'm giving it to James Harden.
So am I.
Brilliant.
Another no-brainer, I think.
Another no-brainer. Those two have really stepped up the game to the MVP race.
That's really kind of your 2 MVP horses. I mean, there's a couple of others we discussed the other week, but they're kind of the last 2 horses standing at the moment. Harden, another unbelievable season, especially what's happened. Dwight being out he's missed more games than he's played. They've had guys in and out of the lineup. Recently, Beverly's out, and just what Harden's been doing night to night as well. It's just insane. He gets the line so many times a game. Like, personally, it's boring to watch, but far out.
But for your stats and to bring up a team, it does the job. He does it effectively, and that's why he's in the number 2 position. So we thought we'd extrapolate a little bit on those two. From here on, I'm actually just going to label my next 3 and see on your views on that and give your counter arguments.
Let's go.
Because we always knew that those two are they're the staple. So in third, I found it really difficult
small forward
to kind of get these next 3 positions. Ooh. For the small forward position, I had to kind of put Tim Duncan in there.
Duncan at small forward.
I did. It was between Duncan, Anthony Davis, and then for my center is Marc Gasol. I feel like having those three as the backcourt, it would be doing all three of those people an injustice if they weren't in this top squad. I know that I have snubbed LeBron James, but I felt as an entire collective of a season and to what this person has meant for the rest of the season and for what this team is going to be doing from here up until the postseason, because you can see that the Spurs are rolling. I think Tim Duncan gets the pip over LeBron James. And to be honest, LeBron James, people will probably say, oh, well, Tim Duncan doesn't play the small forward. Neither does LeBron James in general.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point.
In reference to Jalen Rose, he says that he plays that power
guard.
He's a power guard position.
Yeah.
He brings the ball up the floor. He can play anywhere through 1 through 4. I feel like Tim Duncan, although he traditionally plays a 4, he could play in that 3 position as good as any man. I feel like Marc Gasol for that reason. He's just had an incredible season consistently. He's and for that I think the media definitely haven't kind of given him the credit that he deserves in that kind of aspect. Yeah. There's more exciting centers in the league. There's more kind of bigger stat lines, but consistently. And for where the Grizzlies are at the point for him being the linchpin in that squad, I think I've got to give it to him. And Anthony Davis is a no-brainer. He's going to be in this squad for the next 10 years. Yeah. He's going to be in that first team squad for the next 10 years. And hats off to him for an incredible season. It's unfortunate that he hasn't really got the squad to
they could still
get
make
on
it.
His back. They can still make it with the recent demise of OKC, but we're yet to see. But unfortunately, I personally don't think that he's got a chance in the MVP race.
Sure.
So where is your line?
Here's where I disagree. I agree with you on Anthony Davis. I've got him in the power forward position as well. Agree with everything you said. He's by far been the standout player in that position.
Definitely.
It will be a shame when he doesn't make the playoffs. I don't think they will. But wow, he still had an amazing season. I think if he had have lifted that team to maybe a mid seed, I think maybe MVP, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the kind of season he's had, but unfortunately the team around him, the coach, who knows. Small forward, I have got LeBron in there. And the reason being is by the numbers and the way Cleveland are rolling now, he's still just probably the best player in the league. I'm not disagreeing with your point. I really like Tim Duncan.
He still is the best player in the league, but I personally, from a standpoint of how contentious the West is and how much the Spurs are rolling at the moment and how consistent Tim Duncan has been, I feel like you can't really do it any other way. But I do understand why people would put LeBron James in there, and I feel like that would be because traditionally he is a 3 guard. A 3 forward. Yeah. Number 3. But I just don't see that being.
I agree, and I like the fact that you do have Timmy D in there. I agree. He's had for his 18th season in the league. Are you kidding me? Like the numbers he's putting up at the moment.
It's insane. Just old man Duncan.
Tony Parker wasn't himself for the first kind of maybe half of the season, maybe more.
Longer.
Kawhi took a while coming back from his hand injury, and then he had the stink eye.
Definitely.
But
now he's leading
Tim
the league
Duncan's
in
kind of been
steals.
that one consistent
He's the reason
in that team.
I feel like he's the reason why the Spurs can go somewhere from this. If he wasn't there for that 3/4 of the season, the Spurs would have a much tougher road ahead of them. But he's established them in that subtle little lower end of the Western Conference where they can push for those top 4 positions.
God, I'd hate to be coming up against them.
And they do it every single year, year in, year out. The Spurs are always there, and I feel it's a testament to Tim Duncan that they are in that position again.
Other disagreements, center position.
Boogie!
We both love him.
We both love him.
We both freaking
Shout
love
out
him.
to you,
Shout out to
Boogie. You absolute legend. We hope to get you on the podcast one day.
Can't wait to see you on a good team next season.
Don't go east.
No, but please do. So the reason I disagree with you on Marc Gasol, and I'm not saying Marc Gasol's had a bad season, he's had an epic season. Boogie has been putting up stupid numbers on...
Yeah, but only recently, man.
No, but he's been doing it all season.
He has been doing it all season, and he's been killing it in my fantasy team. So
Trust me, we know.
We know.
We hear about it.
Currently in the grand final, I'm getting smashed by Boyd.
Let's not talk about it.
We won't talk about
I didn't even make the playoffs, but no.
He's been putting up phenomenal numbers, yes, but I don't understand, man. Like, yes, I think that he is the best center in the league right now. I don't think he's had the best season for a center in the league.
That's my point. Just because offensively his game was already there, and it's even jumped a level this year.
But definitely
with what he's doing, he's playing a real team role as well. Like his assist numbers are up this season. He's become a better kind of leader. I don't know if you've noticed, but he's not getting those stupid texts anymore. He's getting a couple, but he's not getting ejected as much.
He's one of the most mentally improved
taking it personally,
players.
And I've loved seeing it. This season,
I'm really happy that George Karl is.
I'm glad they've got a good
now.
coach.
I'm so stoked.
So happy.
So very happy for him.
Really bummed what happened with Mike Malone at the start of the season. I still don't understand that firing. They're off to such a good start. They were actually in playoff contention for a while.
For a long while, up until the All-Star break, really, up until that point.
The big jump for me was on the defensive end. His block numbers are up, and he's actually become a real kind of rim protector.
Yeah.
And his team, people have bagged him in the past for kind of just being like good stats defensively. When you look at like minutes on the floor and points by an opposing team, it's there. Like he's defending really well. He makes a huge difference in the paint. He rebounds amazingly. We both know that.
I mean, his player effectiveness rating from both ends of the floor, it's somewhere in the mid-20s to high 30s.
Yeah.
Mid-20s to low 30s.
Sure.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
That's for people who don't understand PER, we'll kind of touch on it. But he's, it's incredible how much this guy is giving to his squad now at the moment. But for me personally, I feel like Marc Gasol has done a better job throughout the entire season recently.
On a better team
Boogie's
as well.
Putting up those 20, 20, 10, and 5 numbers.
Oh, God, don't get me started on if he does that consistently.
If he starts to do that consistently towards the end of the season, that's changed.
Yeah.
That is, like, Marc Gasol, take a step down, you got to bow down to the bigger man.
I just don't think Boogie's going to because
now,
there's not much... There's not much for them to play for. They should probably be tanking now.
But I feel like he's still got that tenacity and doesn't really want to get in.
Boogie's playing for pride, and I respect that.
Sure.
He's one of the most skilled big men I've ever watched play, for sure.
Definitely. Him and Andrew Bogut are probably two of the most seriously skilled big men.
And I'd love to see him on a decent team. I mean, if he stays in Sacramento, I hope they can build the pieces around him because... It's such a waste seeing him on a bad team year after year.
I know that this kind of happened a while back, but Sacramento were rumored to be heading off to Seattle. And
not going to happen anymore.
It's not going to happen.
Fucking,
if Boogie had Seattle Sonics jersey, just saying.
We wouldn't even need the Find Fisher team segment.
We wouldn't need it because Boogie would be my team. No, I'm on Team Boogie. I'm on Boogie Island. I know there's about...
We're both on... There's a lot of us on Boogie Island. There's a lot of people on Boogie Island. But tell you what happens? We all blame it on the Boogie. Blame it on the good times. Blame it on the Boogie because he's a beast. We've actually gone already over how long we're going to be going. So I think we're gonna wrap up kind of part 1 there. Click the link below. I'm pointing at it right now, even though it's not there right now. It will be there right now.
It'll be there.
To tune into part 2, we're going to get into our second team All-NBA. See you in a sec.
Hit it!